Hello, this is Greg House from Green Gregs, coming to you on the 12th of October, Columbus Day 2020. And we're going to take a little garden tour, a little walk in the garden. We're going to start here, close to these beehives. As you know, these aren't my bees, by the way. Really didn't have time. Everybody's always said, Greg, get bees. I didn't have time to do it. But I got a friend who set bees up here. First name is Muhammad, and he goes by Mo, but I call him Buzz Mo, because he's got all these bees. He's a nice guy, really nice guy, Mr. Buzz Mo. Check him out. I wouldn't be getting close to a bunch of bees that weren't European docile bees. Oh, that one dead out there. I'm sure they'll clean that up. Maybe another bug. Some other bug, another bee. Why? There's a bee over there dead though. Interesting. What to say? I don't want to disturb them too much. I'm hoping this will dry out. Well, I'm going to put some gravel in. So, we'll do the walk and talk. And I'm going to show you my garden again. And we're going to talk about a couple of things. One, I really could use a farm manager. If you're interested in that, email me at, only if you're interested in this, don't use this email. I have to get this email out. Email me at greg@greengregs.com. Don't use it for anything else. I'm going to be doing a video soon on this. And some other things. So if you've not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Bang that notification bell. Because I do a lot of videos. I show you how to make Tamiflu from sweet gum. I show you wild edibles. Wild edibles. How to grow your own food. I'm showing a lot of these kind of videos. How to prepare your beds so you don't have to go to the store and buy supplies. As you know, I've got a worm farm. All back in there. I've done videos on worm farming. I've got my sled beds and other things back in there. I've got my aquaponics greenhouse here. I don't have a lot going on right now. I've got to clear these weeds around it so the solar panels can be better operable. Yeah, I'm saving these weeds here to do my video. Hopefully in the next few days on that. Don't have a whole lot going on in here. I do have fish. Got some lettuce in here. I've got a ginormous, well, that's a giant 2-year-old blackberry vine growing down here. It's not growing out of my aquaponics system, although that big tomato vine is. It's a 2-year-old tomato vine. I got a 2-year-old pepper down here. And tomato has just started suffering. Just started suffering. It's been green and growing well until the past week or so. There was a smoker that came in here. Maybe he handled it. That pepper over there is 2-year-old pepper plant. So let's get out, go back out here. I'll show you my fish. Time to feed them. I'm going to show you my. I'm doing really good on my crookneck squash. It's making really well. We're going to get our fish here. I'm going to take you out to the crookneck squash. Show you around, walk around. We're going to talk about a little bit about gardening, but I'm also going to talk about, hey, I need a little help, and I'm going to talk about that in general. So, right here, see these little fish? See how hungry they are? Oops, maybe getting too much there. I'll eat that up. Look at it. Yum, yum. I keep these boards on it so the algae won't grow in these water tanks. This tank over here has got perch in it, brim. Alright, see how they snap up? I love feeding these guys. They're eager eaters. They're hungry. Look at that. Hard to see in the water because they're dark colored fish, unlike the goldfish. I did have tilapia in that tank until I had an accident here some little months back. I mentioned that in my previous video out here. That's one reason I'm not running my greenhouse at full capacity. Is I got to get my fish back up to full capacity, and also it's a matter of time. I built this greenhouse 2 years ago, put a lot of money into it. The time has been my biggest bane. Talk about that. Oh, look here, we got some wild lettuce growing in here. So let's go out here. Out here and walk to the garden. Oh look, somebody left a basket for me right here. Oh, by the way, I have got some more gravel added. The guy that brought the gravel in had one of those big triaxle trucks. He didn't want to drive it back into here, back up in there like I've had it put out before. So I'll get a guy back here with a smaller truck to do that. He did dump me a big load over there, and he put it on this road. It's still got to be smoothed out and handled. But so I got two gardens back here on the back side. And I got a garden beside my house. This garden, that's a trellis for tomatoes. There's no tomatoes there right now. I grew garlic back over here last winter. I'll plant garlic in there again soon. I'm going to plant garlic in here. Let's just bought down here first. Look at this. You can see I've actually got garlic coming up. These are from bulbs that actually were supposed to have been harvested. The guy said he harvested and he didn't. So it's getting an early start. I don't know how it's going to do through the winter. Look, it's pretty thick down there. There's a whole bunch of little stalks popping up in here in several places. So it's going to be interesting to see how this garlic does. This is an experiment, because I normally plant this stuff in November. And here we are in October, and it's already sprouted up in some places really big. I think it'd be okay, because onions do well here through the winter. My turmeric, I never watered my turmeric this year. I didn't irrigate. See all these hoses. I had a guy back here who was supposed to pull weeds up and for me. I hired him to help me out, and he came back here and cut them instead of pulling them, and when he was cutting them, he cut my hoses. And well, we've had so much rain for most of the year, didn't need any irrigation anyway, but here toward the end we really did, and it's turned my turmeric brown just because it wasn't getting the moisture it needed. And let's see, but this should still make good. This should still be making really good. These big plants should have some really nice roots. I think I can see a little bit sticking out of the ground there. And look at all this garlic coming up. I got big beds of garlic down here. But in the same time really that I plant it. So like I said, this is going to be an experiment to see how it does. Garlic, 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 garlic. And I planted radishes down here. There's radishes in here. And I told somebody in one of my previous videos, I announced in one of my previous videos, because look, I'm a prepper. And people say, Greg, you're a prepper. You've got a target on your back. You know why? You know, the first rule of prepping is don't tell anybody you're prepping. So you're a prepper and you do a YouTube channel and tell everybody you're prepping. You're breaking all the rules of prepping. But you know, I told everybody, so look, I don't grow any food. I said, hey, I'm just growing medicinal garlic and turmeric. For the most part, that's true. I do grow a little bit, but you see in my videos when I've got some little stuff planted in here. It's not come up just yet. And look here, here's lettuce. I don't grow any food. So that's not real lettuce, it's fake lettuce. There's some more garlic coming up. And there's onions also set out in here. Got lettuce over here and there's some onions set out in there. It's not started sprouting up, we just set them out. And some garlic back over there. Garlic over here. And I got lots of garlic, and I'm gonna have lots more garlic when I get things planted the way I want to. And we see some little plants coming up. This garden here has also got some, should have some onions in there in the middle of it. Let's step over this. We're gonna go back into the upper garden. Now it's not real lettuce, just looks like it. Fake lettuce. Ignore it. Yeah, about 3 pounds of onions, most of which have been set out in here. So there's my big pile of gravel. There's one of the other little trailers. It's junk right now. And y'all might have noticed I had a trailer back there. I want to show you my trailers and different things. Up here is a lot of turmeric. Tear this bed out, plant something in it. I used to grow some really good sweet potatoes back here, but the deer just started tearing them up. I did have some nice blooms on some of this. Most of the blooms are played out now, Somebody was asking me what the bloom smelled like. I don't think I'm going to smell it when they're getting like that. I don't think the fragrance will be quite as nice. Yeah, they were real pretty blooms earlier on. Those of you who've seen my Facebook site have seen pictures of these blooms. I'll have to come here and put something down. Control all this grass. See, everybody goes, Greg, why don't you do the back to Eden method for your garden? Well, I do have some wood chips, and we are putting some out, but this is Alabama, it's the South. The back to Eden method don't work in the South like it does over here. You saw that grass, that Bermuda type grass? That'll come right up through even a thick pile of wood chips. That kind of grass will come up, and so will this burdock, this curtidock I meant. And, oh, there's a nice little bloom. I love these peppers here. Look how dark they are, how black they are. The leaves are almost gone. They're really a black pepper, aren't they? Really cool to look at. See these black peppers in here? Black as crows, as ravens. There's some little bitty cayennes, some little ones. Some of the black ones. Yeah, I just played around and got different peppers this year, not what I usually get. So what we're going to do here, these are beets. I got to come here and thin these out. The greens are edible now. And this stuff is just starting to come up. I'm planting radishes in here. This is another radish bed. They're just starting to come up. Also though, when you plant things like radishes and little seeds, the back to Eden method's kind of challenging. And you can see I actually have a lot of wood chips on the ground here. And weeds are starting to come up through them too. This is my turnip greens and mustard greens mixed up. And my got a couple of collard plants in here, although they didn't do so well here on this side. But then maybe it's the wood chips. We got too much wood chips in there. I got a few other little collards down there. My peas are starting to grow. They're climbing these poles. I got a little bit of black-eyed peas and purple hull peas in there both. That's a small little patch. I used to plant ginormous patches of these things. I planted them late, so this is going to be an interesting experiment to see if they make it, especially if the deer don't eat them. Deer love those things. And something's been munching on this particular lettuce here. Not lettuce. Squash here. This is butternut squash. I don't think it's going to make it because it looks like it's taking it too long to go to maturity. What is making it and bearing a lot is my crookneck squash. In fact, you saw I was out here harvesting some, a little about a week ago. Look, some of them are already too big to harvest. I'll save those for seed. So, yeah, I got about 3 of them out here that's only about fit for seed. I've got a lot of crookneck out here, especially back up under here. This is, just a few plants, and it's already making a fair bit of squash, as you can see in here. I should have got back in here and harvested these a few days ago. There's some in here that'd be good to eat, some of the smaller ones. The bigger ones I'll just save for seed. They're getting really yellow. But, yeah, those biggest ones, at least the 2 biggest ones I'll save for seed. The others I can probably harvest here in just a minute. Let's walk around before I start picking those. Interesting. In my pocket. I saw that in my pocket. When I talked about these as my favorite 3 knives. Oh, I was going to cut squash with it. I guess I just pulled it up and didn't. I changed my mind. We're going to walk a little bit more. So that's a tour of my garden on this side. I do have the makings of an orchard, but it's grown up. I had asked somebody to cut some trees out for me, or dig them up, and again they cut them instead of digging them, and everything they cut grew back like 5 stalks. 5 trunks instead of 1. So believe it or not, back in here there are some fruit trees, and there's some blueberry bushes, and there's some fig trees. There's cherry, apple, pear, but it's going to have to be trimmed out for that to grow properly. I've just not had time. So here's my challenge. My challenge is I've got a full-time job. It's not a normal full-time job. I work like 10-hour days. On the weekends I find myself spending most of my time running and fetching to get stuff. The admin aspects of what I do here are enormous. I can't keep up with the paperwork side of it. The paperwork side, believe it or not, keeping up all my receipts, and especially when I was doing orders for worms. Holy smoke. All the paperwork you had to do with PayPal, and I had to pull the orders down and rack them and stack them and put up labels and everything that was required I would be up 2 nights and all night just processing that stuff. You can see my gravel pile here. A lot of that gravel pile will go back in that hole in the back. And and then on top of that, this year was bad. I lost a brother. I lost my dad, but just before that, I've had an incident occur with my house. I've had just a lot of bad luck. Plus, we've had this thing going around and a lot of stuff going on in the world. It's just like the world's going crazy this year. So I found myself paying a lot more attention to what's going on. And I've increased the frequency of my videos. See, I also do 2 YouTube channels. The space one has been pretty much neglected the past several months because time and everything that's going on. I gave a priority to this Green Greg's channel because people need to know what's going on. People need to see what's happening. Our world has gone nuts and everybody's worried. And I'm trying to form these tribes network. I got some of that started, but I had to have volunteers because I'm just too busy to answer all the emails. I'm just too busy answering emails from customers for worms right now, especially since I'm not selling any. And then I've got, and that's going to be a little bit longer than I thought on that. I'll do a video on that, talking about that soon. But my friends, we just got a lot of challenges, but I have redoubled or doubled up, more than doubled up on the videos I put on this channel, just to let you guys see what's coming at us. We got grand solar minimum, we got weather going crazy, politics going crazy internally, externally. And I wished I had my YouTube channel going and built that. I still got some videos and some things I could do a video on that in a greenhouse, but I built the greenhouse just before I started this channel. The only major construction I've done after this channel is I built the swamp coolers and I built the solar system on front of the greenhouse. But I haven't been able to do a lot of construction since. I built the sled beds, some of them. I hired some of that done too. But I did a video on that, showing how I got that started up. But I've got a little garden area here in the front, and you've already seen it, by the way. I hardened my plants off under this tree here, on top of that, so they can get used to being outside. Y'all might have seen my video on perilla. This spring I had a big radish patch here. Something got most of my beans I had over here, rattlesnake beans. That was kind of unfortunate. And I got another little garden patch that is grown up right now because I planted sweet potatoes in it, 2 different varieties of sweet potatoes. And they have, it's kind of hard to weed them because they're just everywhere. The vines are. And so the vines and weeds are all like intertwined. And the vines are still green. That is sweet potato vines. See all those vines there? And you see there's the kind that's big, and there's the kind that's got the forked, like that. That's 2 different varieties. You see this? That's sweet potato. And I figure when the vines died down, the potatoes are ready. Oh, there's people harvesting their sweet potatoes already and have been for weeks now. So there's probably some good sweet potatoes in here that could be dug out. You may remember when I planted them. Yeah, but this has gone up to be a real mess. I didn't really want to plant them in this yard here near the front of the house because I knew this was possible. But on the other hand, I had deer eat them up last time I had them planted in the back. Deer love these things. Look at that ginormous, beautiful. Yeah, this whole yard's grown up. I'm gonna have to clear it out, clean it up. But a ginormous, beautiful wild lettuce. All those seeds. I need to collect those seeds and process that plant. I can make some painkiller out of it. That's beautiful. I got one in the greenhouse. So I do have a couple of my worm beds here in the front yard, but they're under these trees and they're painted green to make them a little harder to see. But I got other junk here in my front yard too. I'm gonna put my tractor in the back. I just parked it up here because I was afraid of somebody potentially tampering with it at one time. Got my cargo trailer. I got my 2 vans. I'm gonna show you something new. My newest thing I want to do. As you know, I've been growing microgreens in my living room, but I had planned potentially, and I still could, build my side porch. I got a screened-in side porch. Build it out as a microgreen growing place. I could grow 9 or 10 racks, full-size racks in there if I did that. Some of you may know Betsy Blue, my C30 1-ton flatbed. It's got a little engine in it, a 454, 7.5 cubic liter motor. She gets a great gas mileage, 6 miles a gallon, loaded or not. I think she gets better mileage when she's loaded. She's a beautiful truck. This big flatbed has come in super handy for me. Now look what I got here. Boom, 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 boom. Greg, what are you doing with that crazy big trailer? Well, I'm hoping this will be my new project. The intent is to grow microgreens inside this trailer. I figured it'd be a lot faster for me to start it this way than finishing in my porch, which would be a lot faster than building a brand new building, of course. But I could put 5 racks in this, but they'd only be 4 shelves high. This is the height a little bit. I can put 5 racks in this trailer. So it's I could grow 80 trays at a time right there. And that could be very lucrative. Very lucrative. Hey, kitty. I'm on my yard now. Say hello to kitty. Hello, baby. Hello. Alright, so I know you watch this long. I say, Greg, why don't you kitty drive the truck? She might. So, what am I planning to do with the microgreens? It's possible, like I said, to grow racks in that and grow them in the house too. I can grow 20, 40, 56 at a time in the house. I could grow 80 in there. Now I'm getting cooler weather, I can grow in the house again. It's been too hot. And if I get really going, it'd be lucrative enough. I could afford to pay to get the AC put in the house so I can stand running that hot dehumidifier through the summertime. So if that's what I need to do, I could do it. The microgreens, if you sell them retail at the stores, you can sell them for about $3. No, $30 for a flat, for a little tray that's, you know, the 10 by 20 trays. I'm gonna walk back out in the garden. I'm gonna pick the squash. I'll probably shut off the video for it though. But you can do the 10 by 20 trays and get $30 per tray basically, retail. There are people who are going to the farmers markets and setting up and juicing, and are setting up before they can sell straight to the customers through they call it CSA, Consumer Supported Agriculture, where they sell boxes straight to the customers, and they're doing it at retail, and they're doing really well at that right now. It seems to be a better route than going to restaurants. Restaurants was kind of a wholesale business. I was planning to sell mine really cheap if I was going to go to restaurants. I was aiming for a profit target of about $15 a tray. It only costs you about $2 a tray to grow that stuff. You spend a couple hours a day watering it. You spend more time when you're planting, a little bit more time when you're planting. I got videos on it. You can see how long it takes. Maybe the biggest job is just washing the trays. That takes a big job. Those trays are hard to wash because they get those little seeds in there and different things, roots you have to get out. And they're flimsy. You don't want to break them. You got to apply a lot of force and not break them at the same time. So I may switch over to do the bread dough trays like Larry Helms does up in Maryland. You know, he's another guy who does microgreens. And so, if you think about it, there's another guy I know up in Canada who does a lot of microgreens. Maybe he's in Michigan. Corey's Cave. He does. He sells all his at stores. So he sells his at between the retail price, wholesale price of what you'd sell to a restaurant, and the retail price you do straight to customers. That's pretty lucrative. So if you think you're going to do a little bit of all three, you could probably figure you'd settle on a price point like this. So you could probably make about $20 a tray. So if I'm going like 120 trays a week and doing $20 a tray, add it up. It'd be very lucrative. But it's more than I can do by myself. I got to find somebody else to work here with me. So I'm going to be looking for somebody who wants to be wants to share crop. I'll provide the land, the resources, the knowledge, and we'll split the profit. And I might even include the worm business in that. That can be lucrative too. You see me go through the numbers on that. So that's part of what I'm getting at here. I've got a day job, and I'm hearing there's a prospect that it may even get more intense. I may be starting to go TDY traveling. and that would make it really hard to run the worm farm and other things. Just the time that I spend working per day. Today's a holiday, so I'm out here a little bit earlier. The only reason I'm still not, the reason I'm out here still late is I was working on taxes. I got to get my taxes done. And I'm actually going to take vacation days the next few days to finish up my taxes, because if you do late filing, the due date is the 15th of October. I'm really serious and don't know if I can make it. It's going to be tight. It's going to be tough. The paperwork is horrendous for this operation. So there's an admin aspect of this job, definitely. You better figure half of it's admin and half of it's out here. So, and it's, you know, it's always, you know, you still want to hire a little help do some things, you know, if you're working as a farm manager. But that's kind of factored into what I've been talking about here. So if somebody's interested, we can have a conversation. Give me a week, give me to after the 15th of October before you email me, because I'm not going to be really checking a lot of email here in the next few days. I've really got to get these taxes done. But there's a lot of potential. If you look at the DeVase family on acreage similar to this, they do a lot. And I'm also looking to build another greenhouse. This greenhouse can really add to my productivity. I could put high tunnels over this area to make it add. I might could put some of these beds in the high tunnel, but that garden's a little bit more irregular. This is more rectangular. I could expand the garden out that way. I could bring these beds further down this way. There's a lot I can do to improve the growing space here. My plan is to take the wood hinge project and build a building in it to simulate growing everything on the 10th of an acre just right back here. So that would be your DeVase farm right back there where that hole's at. And I'm planning to clear all this out and put a greenhouse in here. And there's my other little trailer back here. So I've got a lot of trailers. I've got a lot of assets. I've seen where people have grown microgreens inside an enclosed trailer like that, so this is not a new thing. I've got an appointment to get an air conditioner put in it on the 4th of December so that I can grow in it in the summertime. The dehumidifier will almost heat that thing in the winter. That and a little electrical heater should take care of it. We'll find out. We'll have to keep close control on that. So there's a lot to do, but it's more than I can do by myself. I'm looking for help. So this is something we might talk about. I've got another prospect I'm going to talk to about this in the next few days. He's already interested, and maybe that person will take it. But wow, cicadas are singing still. Isn't that interesting? I don't usually hear them this late. And we're going to see some beautiful colors here in these trees in just a week or two. I'll be sure to share that with you. And we got some turning colors. Anyway, everyone, so that's a tour and just to talk about some possibilities. So you see what I got growing on here and what I got planned. The real challenges everybody needs to know is this: if you're going to do a worm farm or market garden, and if you got a day job, especially an intense day job, you're going to be really busy. It's going to really take a lot out of you. You're not going to have time for anything else, and you're going to have a hard time finding time. If you're trying to make one income supplant the other eventually, that goal is when you start getting close to where one could actually replace the other, it's like a jet fighter, you know, reaching the Mach speed limit in air. It starts buffering, you know, that's what they found with the X1, but when it broke through the sound barrier, the flying was smooth. So there's a lot of challenges in trying to run. You know, this is essentially more than 2 full-time jobs. On top of that, I got my YouTube channel. So it's a lot going on. It's stressful. It is really stressful. And I've had other things come up this year, family and personal tragedies and emergencies and things to deal with that have just made my life really challenging this year. So just letting you know, there may be prospects here, and we can talk about it more later. Anyway, everyone, thank you for watching.